It's been over 6 years since I posted on my YouTube channel consistently. Now, if you look at my channel, you'll notice that the first video you'll find is actually from about 2 weeks ago, which is about when I decided I was ready to come back for good. So, what happened in 2019? Well, I posted about 16 videos over that summer and privated every single one about 3 months later, and basically never looked back. I decided I was too cringe and I was too unsure of myself to put anything sustainable out on the internet, but I've always loved making videos. I think at that time I was letting so much outside noise and pressure get to me that I decided to quit and wait. What was I waiting for? I had no idea. Well, I had some idea. I wanted to be sure in myself, and I wanted to feel secure enough to know that what I was putting out for people to see was something lasting, something that I could look back on and not feel embarrassed about. What I didn't know at the time is that I was approaching it all wrong. What made my videos embarrassing to watch wasn't that I was inherently cringe, it was that I was being inauthentic, and I definitely knew that deep down. At the time, it kind of was me being myself because I hadn't really let go of the need to be validated, so I was constantly trying to capture people's attention, but I'm pretty sure everyone could see through it. Authenticity is gold on YouTube, I also knew that, and as long as I was uncomfortable with who I was, it felt like YouTube was a dream I had to put on hold, at least until I decided to just let go. It's not just one thing that I did overnight, but there was a lot of hard work that I did to get to where I am today. A lot of work that started where I was actually most uncomfortable, which was rejection and disapproval from other people. Since being in college and leaving home, I've been lucky enough to have had a lot of different opportunities to react to different situations. I've experienced pressure, disappointment, hate, rejection, disapproval from so many different people. And I can honestly say that these things have shaped who I am today the most. I think at the core of it, I was just scared of rejection, like not even hate, just disapproval. The idea that somebody could watch me and think, that's embarrassing, or she's trying too hard. And once that fear kind of sets in, you start filtering everything through it. And every video idea becomes, will people think this is stupid? Every upload becomes, what if they don't like it? But at some point in college, I started realizing something. Every interaction, every rejection, every awkward moment was an opportunity to react. And the only thing I actually had control over wasn't whether people approved of what I was doing. It was how I responded when they didn't. My responses and my reactions honestly felt like the only thing I had control over. This is something that I took into my relationship too, and I could write a whole book on how you respond to your partner, but we'll save that for another video. Once I understood that I could control my reactions, rejection stopped feeling like something that could ruin me. It became more like something I could just experience. And I didn't have to spiral, I didn't have to prove myself, I didn't have to shut down, I could just decide how I wanted to handle it. Over time, situation after situation, I started refining my boundaries in my personal life by deciding what I liked and what I didn't like, how I liked being treated versus how I didn't like being treated. And this might look different for everyone, but we all need boundaries. I can't remember where the metaphor is from, but basically you're kind of like a house. You're the owner and you decide who you let in and who you don't. Some people you might just allow in the living room, close friends and such might be able to see your bedroom. The house is supposed to be representative of your life and your peace. I think once I understood the value of letting someone into your home, a lot of things changed for me. For a long time, I didn't even know I could lock the door. And when I didn't have any boundaries in my personal life, I didn't really have them online either. I was putting literally everything out there in the hope that people would approve of it. And when you don't feel in control of what you're sharing, you feel exposed. And that exposure a lot of times can feel like embarrassment. Now, at 22 years old, I understand that I choose what I share, I choose the tone, I choose the depth, and that makes me a million times more grounded as opposed to feeling cringe or that embarrassment. I saved this point for last because, for me at least, authenticity came after I did the work. It didn't happen when I just decided to be myself. It happened when I stopped performing, when I stopped trying to predict how I'd be perceived, when I stopped shaping my personality around avoiding rejection. Performance in itself is inherently exhausting, and it's an unsustainable foundation for anyone trying to build a community on the internet because it's rooted in control, or more specifically, trying to control how people see you. Authenticity is quieter. It's not about being unfiltered or oversharing. It's about being grounded enough in who you are that you don't need to manage the room. This is very important. Let me say that again. You do not need to manage the room. My life completely changed because of this, and it made me realize that there was actually nothing embarrassing about me to begin with. I don't think the goal was ever to stop being afraid of looking stupid. I think the goal was to stop letting that fear make my decisions for me. I lost 6 years waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel secure, waiting to feel like no one could criticize me. And the truth is, that version of ready does not exist. What does exist is choosing to show up anyway, and that's what I'm going to try to do. Honestly, just starting 2 weeks ago has been one of the best parts of these past 6 years because it felt like confirmation that I'm finally free from all these things that held me back since 2019. And the work that I put in was worth it. So this is me starting again, not perfectly, just honestly.